Pick up your gear and open your chests. Throw on your armor and head out on a quest. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. On the Sword Coast, your allies will help with blades and bows and magic as well. Hey, hey, heroes on their way. Fighting forever against overwhelming odds. Fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the forgotten realms. Idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, get you all out there. Idle champions, you will say again. Idle champions. From Waterdeep to Icewind, head out to Shove or Shadowfell, hey, hey. Together we stay. Walk to the monsters, walk to the boss, walk to the right, it's never a loss, hey, hey. Bad guys to slay. Fighting forever against overwhelming odds. Fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the forgotten realms. Idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, get you all out there. Idle champions, you will say it again. Idle champions.
Are for. Oh, it was such a good intro too, folks. It was the best intro I've ever had. Yeah, lately OBS has been casting silence on me. TLDR, Saturday, Gaarawarr Saturday tutorial show. Gold farming. There you go. There you go. We got there anyway. With me today in the production booth is Gabe. Gabe's here, folks. Say hi to Gabe. Gabe's going to be grabbing questions from chat. As with all the shows on this channel, please put your questions, start them with question : like it says way down there, right above the free chess code. And then I will get to them in the second half of the show, because in the first half of the show I'm going to be doing a lot of talking, because gold farming is a very broad topic. And we got a lot, there's going to be a lot to say about it. And there's like over 30 champions that we're potentially going to comment on today. And that's a lot for one show. That's a lot. I may have bit off more than I could chew, but hey, we're doing it. We're doing it live. Also, hey, the people that like to put exclamation point code in chat before someone's on the stream. If no one no one's face is on the stream yet, the code hasn't been updated. But once it is, you can just copy paste it from chat. For those of you who don't know. Boom, look at that. Get your Electrum chests. Get them. Get them. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I got every now and then Codename Entertainment sends me some, I'm not a direct employee, but they will send me some of their shirts, including like the Idle Champions ones, and I like to wear them on these streams. I like to wear them on these streams, because, you know, why not? Why not? All right. Here we go. Remember, you can post your questions anytime. We will get them in the second half of the show. It's time to talk about gold, baby. Gold is what you're talking about. We're seeing it on the screen right now, right? You kill enemies in adventures, you get gold. You kill distractions in adventures, you get some gold. That's that little guy that just popped up there. That's a distraction. Look at that. I made some gold. You need your gold to level up your champions. I know this is very straightforward, but we're going to get to the more difficult stuff soon. Use your gold to level up champions, or even to level up your click damage, right? This is kind of one of the main points of doing a run is to earn gold. But the other thing that you get from getting gold is when the adventure is over and when you go to complete it, as mine is complete, I got this little flashing green button, it'll tell you how much favor you've earned on that run. And that favor is based on the amount of gold you earned. Okay. So the more gold you earn in a run, the more favor you earn from that run. And as we all know, favor is the stick you hit things with. No, favor is, this total out here in campaigns. Every campaign has a favor related to it. Time gates have Mistra's favor, which is I'm in a time gate, which is ironic for reasons we'll talk about in a bit. Trials has a favor. Events have favor. Everything's got favor, except the things that don't. Yeah. And then when you get your amount of favor, if you look, hey, look, that number is equal to your gold too. What does that mean? It means favor is a multiplier on your gold find in an adventure. So right now I've only got EO 5% gold find because when I went into this time gate, I had 0 favor. This is a 0 favor run. Welcome to endgame. So when you start out an adventure where an event or a time gate with 0 favor, you have no multipliers on your gold find, and then you go get some gold find, and then you go in, and then you can earn even more. And not only do you earn more faster, like you earn more early on, which means you're leveling your champions up faster, which means you're moving through the adventure faster, and ultimately you'll end up leveling your champions higher than you did the first time in most cases, and you'll be able to push even further. And the way this game works in almost all cases is the further you're able to go into an adventure in terms of areas, the more gold you potentially can earn, because as you go, like if you look at it as like a one area and gold find as a graph, as your area increases, so does the gold that enemies drop, right, as you're going on. Again, in all but one case. That's how this works. So, generally speaking, when you're new and you're trying to get going and earn gold and have power and get some favor, the best thing to do is to push as far as possible. Not necessarily just give yourself as much gold find as possible, but not be able to push very far, right? Because of the higher drops of gold as you go on. Now there is an interesting combination. We're going to talk about it today about pushing super far and then switching to a gold farming team. It's known as Azaka farming because Azaka is the key to doing all that. So there is kind of you unlock Zaka in what I still refer to as the early game, but I don't know that you really need to Azaka farm until you're mid game-ish. But it is a potential possibility. And then now in the late game, there is a campaign called Turn of Fortune's Wheel. And it's ironic that fortune is in the name because you can't make one. Because instead of that nice graph of almost like a nice steady climb of gold gain, the gold gain does this. It's almost up. It's almost completely flat. It's got a slight incline, the kind of incline that you wouldn't notice unless you were sitting in your car in a parking lot and the parking lot was covered in ice and your car was just slowly sliding. Been there. Been there, just slowly sliding into another car. It's that kind of gold gain. It's rough. So that's kind of why we're doing this today, is because the best way to kind of earn gold there and to make some progress when you first start that adventure is, instead of building a pushing team, build a gold find team. Build a gold find team, and you can alternate. You can do leapfrog. We'll talk about leapfrogging maybe, if I remember. Or you could just push with your gold find team, or whatever, and you can earn lots of gold. And then you could switch to a pushing team, and yada yada yada. Ultimately, the idea here is that earning more gold is better up until a point. So what is that point? At some point, you are going to, like when you're leveling up champions, you know this blue button and these little symbols over here that mean, hey, there's upgrades that you got that you can put on your champion if you just pay for them. And then you get to this gray. You get to this gray bar, and there's a circle with a line through it. This is what we refer in the community as a soft cap. So this is you've upgraded a champion completely. Archon, I've got show upcoming, and there's nothing upcoming. There's no more upgrades. There's no more upgrades for Archon. Rip Archon. But that means there's no more of these hard-coded upgrades. Now, you could still. This is on the double up arrows, which is what I prefer to efficiently upgrade with. But you could still unlock them, and you could manually over level them, and then you could still keep putting levels in. But when you do that, you don't really get a return on the investment of the gold. All you would want to do that on usually is a DPS champion, because all you're really getting from that is like 1% damage boost. Every time you click the button, hey, there's 1% more damage. There's 1% more damage. It's not a lot. It's not a whole lot. It can get you through a variant sometimes. Like if you're on the boss and you just need a little more damage, it might happen. But it's not like what you get from this stuff, right? Look, one upgrade or one major purchase, suddenly I got 200% damage, right? For 30 levels. That's the good stuff, right? So when you get to the point where in an adventure you can soft cap your champions, they get to this little gray and there's a circle with a line through it. From that point on in that campaign, earning more favor isn't going to help you go further into the campaign. Like, it's not going to get you further in terms of areas. You're going to need different ways to get further. You're going to need power from different places. That's a whole other conversation. But just know that, one of your goals in each campaign is to get enough favor so you can easily get your champions to soft cap to give yourself the best chance of completing the content in that campaign. And gold farming can help you out with that. So, man, and then my mind just went blank. There's a lot on the plate today, folks. All right. There's a lot of gold find champions in the game. That's one of the ways that you can earn gold in a run, extra gold, above and beyond whatever your favor is giving you, or whatever, like the general curve of the adventure is in terms of gold. There are champions that have the gold roll, so they're going to help you, like Jarlaxle, who's glowing over here, DPS and gold. If they have this in all but one case, here we go with exceptions again. If they have the gold roll, they're going to help you earn more gold, as long as you do whatever it is they need you to do to earn more gold. Like, they have abilities, you need to read their gold find ability and determine how using them is going to help you. Okay, there's other ways to earn more gold. There's these gold find potions, right? So you've got these are called normal or regular potions. Everything that's the white through the purple. There's also a gold hunter potion. These are those week-long potions. Now it's a smaller amount. It's just double your gold find, but it lasts for a week and it lasts through all of your resets. Whereas these, you're in an adventure, you hit complete. Any of these that were left running, dumped. They're flushed down the drain. This stays for the whole 7 days. So it was just a way that you could have a buff to something long term, and gold is one of those things that you can buff long term. So know that gold find potions exist. A little note on using them. I mean, for most potions in the game, again, not all, but for a lot of these potions that give you like damage or gold find or health, even click damage to a degree, they're best used as you're getting towards the end of your run, for the whites through the blues, because you need their power when you're getting to the point where you're losing speed, where you're losing your ability to progress and or survive, right? Like, this is going to help you survive, this is going to help you do more damage, but multiplying the gold at the higher areas where the base value of the drops is higher is more beneficial than, hey, I'm starting my run and I'm just going to spam all these potions. You might earn a little more gold early on, but the effectiveness of these potions is vastly decreased. Now, the difference is with these purples, the huge potions, because they run from the entire adventure. If you know you're going to do a deep run, if you know you're going to be going as far as you possibly can to try to do a gold find, or if you're doing a very difficult variant, you can fire these off right from the beginning, because they're never going to go away. They're never going to go away, right? So just know, gold find potions best used towards the end. That's why I've got the purple ones, because I did a deep run here. And then when I go to do my gold farming, which I'll be demonstrating some Azaka farming, I'll fire off all of these to get the maximum gold find I can get. Okay. What else? What else can give you gold find? Well, your Modron cores. If you have a Modron core, I don't have one enabled here, but as you know, we're 1.45 EO5. That must be coming from the potion, right? That's part of it. And then I think there's maybe maybe I've got perks or blessing. Maybe no, it couldn't be a perk. Well, maybe I don't know. There's perks and blessings, and sometimes those can affect gold find. But if I pop my Modron core in, boom, I just went up a bit in my gold find. Not an outrageous amount, but hey, when it comes to gold, we take every little bit we can get, especially if it's for free, because you're using a Modron core anyway, right? I'm gonna pop that out for now. But yeah, so your Modron core is going to be a way to do it. Your potions, there can be perks or blessings. The blessings obviously are here. There's no blessings for time gates, but these global blessings, if there's something that's gonna, like here, distractions drop 25% more gold. That doesn't really help us a whole lot here, but you can look at things like this. You can look at things like your patron perks over here, and some of these increase all gold found by 50%. There's one of them, right? Stuff like that. They're just going to be general all-around things that you earn, and that are going to be kind of always on. So that's just a nice base amount, a way that you're always going to earn a bit more as you're going on. The way that you're really going to manipulate it is with your champions. Brand new players get 2 gold find champions right out the box. You get yourself a Jarlaxle and you get yourself a Makos. Jarlaxle is the kind of the beast early game gold find champion. As you'll note, if I take Makos out, Jarlaxle alone, we go from EO5 to EO7, 3 EO7. Jarlaxle's got a big bonus. I don't even have him leveled up all the way yet because I paused on all the champions that have a specialization that's going to boost your gold find. So let's go through, like Jarlaxle, Master of Piracy. It's right at the beginning. Increase gold find by 25% for each drow or rogue champion in the formation. Well, guess what? Jarlaxle qualifies. Jarlaxle qualifies. So just putting Jarlaxle in gets you more gold find. You don't need to build an all drow or an all rogue formation. Build a pushing formation with Jarlaxle in it, because when you're new, Jarlaxle is usually your DPS. And just run with it, and you're going to make some money. Jarlaxle does have a specialization for Master of Piracy, so it's going to double that. And then as you level him up, and that's the one you want to go with, honestly. Even when he's your DPS, you want Jarlaxle getting you more gold, because more gold means more upgrades or upgrades sooner, which means more power. So it's actually better than doubling his power, doubling his gold find is. That isn't always the case for gold find specializations, but if you're not getting to this soft cap that we were talking about in a run, it might be that your specializations want to be set to gold find. It might be that you even, if you're looking at your feats, because some champions are going to have gold find feats, you might want to throw in the bigger feats, like one of the big ones, and then other pushing feats, so you get a good combination of pushing and gold find, right? Or you can even just go all gold find for as far as you can, and then switch and see what happens, right? Like you'll be able to tell, did my gold gain, am I able to push further? Is that helping? Right? But just know we're looking at a combination of things. Early on, when you're brand new, earning that favor is a big deal, and the power that you're going to get should be more than enough to help you finish adventures. So why not, right? Work on that favor early on. Later on, you'll want to, maybe tweak things a bit. Makos is interesting. So Jarlaxle is just put him anywhere, you're going to earn some gold. Makos has a very limited, specific gold find function. He does have the gold roll, but this is one of those where maybe you got to understand some gold find abilities make sense for you, some don't. Makos is specifically a specialization called Dark Luck, where when Makos lands the killing blow on another enemy, so when he kills it, not anybody else, that enemy drops a lot more gold. That's it. That's his gold find function. Which means he isn't just going to passively help you accrue more gold find. He's only going to, like Jarlaxle gives you gold find for everyone you kill, because he changes this number up here. Okay? General gold find boosts, pretty strong. A very specific gold find boost that only triggers on a kill? It only really works on like when you get deeper and your DPS, which this would have to be Makos DPS to earn any gold. Only when your DPS gets killed or gets a kill. That's not necessarily as strong. Now, I will say any of those triggered on kill things will also work. Like for Makos, it will also work with his ultimate. Back in my day, we're going in the Wayback Machine. Back when these 12 champions were the only 12 champions that we had, the only gold farming in the game was Makos bombing. And it was building up as many enemies as you could before your tank died, and hitting the ultimate and reaping the rewards. That was it. That was all we had. Things are so much better now. So, hi Makos, bye Makos. We don't want Makos in our gold find formation. Not anymore, really. Just know that if you are using Makos, if Makos is your DPS of choice, putting him in that gold find spec is a good idea, because, until you soft cap, right? So, Jarlaxle, even, I know he's a starter champion, but even as a starter champion, when you're core 12, he's a beast for you in gold find formations forever. Even if he's not the DPS, even if he's just in for gold find, if your purpose is gold, and in terms of Izaka farming or a pushing formation in Turn of Fortune's Wheel that's based off just pure gold find, Jarlaxle's got some beefy values. So, like, here we go. Master of Piracy. Even at 1 stack, I'm at EO5. And if you do end up with any other drow or rogues in your formation, that just goes up. We're going to fly through. I can't explain. There's over 30 champions with gold find tags. I'm not going to go in depth onto each one of them. I can't. We don't have that kind of time. The key here is I'm going to show you all of them. I might miss some. I hope I don't. There's a lot nowadays. It used to be once upon a time that slot 4 was the gold find slot. Not anymore. They're everywhere. Every slot has champions that can help you produce gold, which is great. There's one other thing to note. There are some champions who have a base gold find function like Jarlaxle. Like, I'm not going to mention I'm not going to mention who else you can bring in to help raise their numbers, because like I said with Jarlaxle, Drows, and Rogues, I'm not going to then tell you every Drow and Rogue in the game. Okay, so just know that you need to read these abilities and then build around them if you're trying to get Goldfind. Shout out here though to Archon. Archon is not a Goldfind champion. However, for some strange reason, the devs gave him an item that generates gold. Look, there's going to be champions like this in the game. They don't make sense. They do things that they shouldn't do. They don't have a role. Why do they have an item? I don't know. I don't know. He's a tank. Why is this not health? I don't know. It should have been. So we're going to try to stick to the things that are actually making sense. And we're going to dive in. So let's go. Everybody's favorite murder burb, Dahani. Dahani has a gold find ability. And it's tied in here, ochre yellow jelly. It's the splash of yellow. She's got a specialization, and basically anything that she tags that then is painted yellow will then drop more gold. That does mean that they need to be painted and then die. And it's 400% more gold, okay? So again, very kind of limited. Something has to happen, and then you can earn gold. That's a very limited functionality for gold find. But in some cases it makes sense. Sometimes abilities like that, where you do something to an enemy, and it's going to drop more gold when it dies. Sometimes it's what we call sticky, which means you can paint an enemy. Like, this doesn't work for Dahani, but you trigger that effect on an enemy, and then you can pull that champion out, and that effect will still stick around. I bring this up because Dinar is next on the list. Good boy, Dinar. The biggest, baddest sword in the game, and yet he's got a magical base attack. Dinar has a command that tells people, oh, you're going to drop more gold for me. It's one of their base attack. They're part of their base attacks. It's one of their commands. Where is it? Drop. Enemy drops 50% bonus gold on death. It's sticky, and there's a specialization that can make it either AoE or increase it to 100%. Usually, you're going to 100%. Because of Azaka farming. If you were just using him generically and pushing, AoE is great, but Dinar's effect is sticky, so you can apply it to something. It's a little, it looks like 3 lines and a coin, so it looks like you're dropping more gold. And then once it's there, then you can swap them out for somebody else in their slot, like Regis. Regis, one of the OG gold find champions. Regis now got a rework. He holds all of the gold for the Companions of the Hall. It used to be that every companion gave a little bit of gold. Not anymore. Regis is the base, and it's based off Mithril Hall stacks. All of the companions and a couple of their friends can give you Mithril Hall stacks, and you get gold find based off the number of Mithril Hall stacks. Okay, so that's what you're looking to build, and those champions, there's feats for that. Okay, so you can build the Mithril Hall stacks up a lot. Right now, our Bounty of the Hall, 1500%, just with Regis in. Okay, so now that may not mean that means that his specific contribution fairly small for gold find. But if you were choosing to do a pushing formation with Companions of the Hall, they could generate a lot of gold. They could generate more gold than maybe some other pushing formations. Just an option. And then we're going to come to Merylwyn. Win now. We're going to talk about it right now. Merylwyn is a support gold champion. Her gold is she's got a couple, if I remember correctly. Let's see. She at least has liquidity. So she increases gold find by 100% for each Oxventure's guild champion in the formation, stacking multiplicatively. So again, when her affiliation is in, she can generate a lot of gold. But she does have another function that is specific and is best used, in my opinion, in Azaka farming, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But Treasures Her Friends is her specialization. So she gains an encouragement stack each second that an enemy is not defeated. This caps at 300 seconds. For each encouragement stack, the gold find of liquidity is increased by 100%, stacking additively. When an enemy is defeated or the party changes area, the stacks were set to 0. So it can function when you're pushing deep, and as you're slowing down in those higher end levels, you're going to earn more gold. And if you're not soft capped, that matters. But specifically, it's great for Azaka farming, and we'll talk about that why once we get to Azaka farming. Merylwyn is one of those for Azaka farming that needs a little bit of prep. She needs a little bit of prep. You would want to prep her beforehand and do this and turn her into a cat for reasons. It just makes everything better. Trust me. All right, we're gonna take the. Well, we'll leave the cat in the back. Leave the cat in the back, but you can then take her out of the formation, go back to doing whatever, and then put her back in as a cat. She stays as a cat, and this is important for reasons. All right, slot 3 over here. We got Mahen. Mahen, the world's best dad, number 1 dad. He's got the mug. He's got the mug. That means it's true. Where's it at? Okay. Boom. Specialization choice. We've trained for this. It's found family. It's found family, right? Yes. Increases gold find by 100% for each tiefling champion in the formation. Now you're looking up here and you're going, but they're a dragonborn. They are, but they've got a feat that makes them count as a tiefling. This isn't even a glitch feat. This is just they count as a tiefling because their adopted children are tieflings. Okay, so they can increase gold find just on their own, just by themselves being in the formation, and then they can increase the gold effect of found family based on how far from the front of the formation they're placed. Okay, so the longer more stretched out formations, putting them in the back, generates increased gold find. Let me get him level up here. I just gotta have him at soft cap. Okay, so if we look up here, 159 E12. We look back here. This is a fairly short formation. 329 E12. We'll take it. So Mahen can boost your gold find, and if you have more tieflings in, even more gold find. But then there's Omendron, CEO of Acquisitions Incorporated. If anybody knows anything about Omendron, it's that Omendron likes to make money. Omen's got as we see, we jumped all the way up to E14 just by dropping him in. Omen's got a lot of stuff based off gold find. But the biggest one, where is it? Well, hold on. Adventuring Capital. Omen increases the party's gold find by an amount every time a champion of Tymora attacks an enemy, and it stacks additively. Well, you can basically make, if you do it right, you can make everyone in the formation a champion of Tymora. You can build up stacks, and then you can have lots and lots and lots of gold find. Right now, I'm at 1,800 stacks. I'm at E07. This just means if you're going to use Omen, if you want to use Omen to make money, they need to be in early on, which is fine because Omen's got a strong buff. So you can use them from the beginning if you want. Build up a lot of the adventuring capital and profit. So we're going to leave Omen in so he can continue to earn some stuff. We're going to move on to slot 4. Slot 4, once upon a time, like I said, was the gold find slot. So Jarlaxle started that off. Stokey followed it up. And Stokey has Golden Palm. Champions adjacent to Stokey cause enemies they kill to drop 50% more gold for every mark of key active. So, in pushing, this is better in pushing than in most things. Not as great for Azaka farming. It does work, but there aren't a lot of marks of key active in Azaka farming, but there can be on other levels. So just know, Stokey's got some gold find. Let's talk about Ishii, the other shorty in the slot. Ishii likes to find treasure, so all gold found by 50% for every non-human champion adjacent to Ishii. Ishii likes non-humans because monsters are people too. So again, another way based off the champion, the build of your formation. Again, this is more about not necessarily Azaka farming, just pushing formations, and you can build up some gold. And then down here, Treasure Hunter increases the effect of Let's Find Some Treasure by 100% for 5 seconds whenever Ishii gets the kill. So Ishii DPS doubles the gold. Another option here, Paulton. Paulton is lucky. Paulton increases party's gold find by 20% for each champion adjacent to them. So yeah, another way And upgrades and equipment apply to the pre-stack value. So another way you can build up a gold find, Paulton, definitely on the list. And honestly, for people who are running, if you know, Jarlaxle is hard to use sometimes in Azaka formations because he's on jury duty in your Trials of Mount Tiamat. He's in your takeaway, gone away. For some people, he's gone away for a week, and a lot of times I'll just fill that slot with Paulton. But talking about sticky gold find, Baloth is a gold find champion, and his gold find ability is sticky. So all he has to do is attack an enemy, and then they become paid partially with pain. So any enemies hit by Baloth's Chain Lightning drop a bunch more gold when killed. So for Azaka farming specifically, you can drop Baloth in, tag that enemy, then pull Baloth out and swap them for Jarlaxle, or if Jarlaxle's on jury duty, Paulton. There are people who use who will build some Ishii and some Stokie. I mean, you can do whatever you want. Ultimately, my recommendation is just figure out what's going to work best for you and go with that, rather than just have somebody tell you, "Oh, this is the absolute best." You might not have that champion, right? Slot 5, we got Keelik. That's right, the Burb. The Burb has slow sanctions. Gold drop by enemies that are stunned, slowed, or rooted is increased by 100%. Which, if you don't have anybody else in slot 5, does actually work well with Azaka farming, because the way we're going to Azaka farm uses a slow, so more gold drop, right? And then they have seized assets of specialization that doubles slow sanctions. Let's get them out here. That is not what Keelik normally looks like. That's a skin. Just want to be clear, everybody. So slow sanctions now I'm up to like 3,200%. If we stun, slow, or root. So crowd control effects make you more money. Avandra was added in not too long ago as part of the Awful Ones. She's a tank that has gold find. And that's great, and actually pretty solid, in my opinion, tank. There's a lot of people that are like, Valentine's who you want. We're going to talk about Valentine in a moment. But honestly, I found my Avandra worked better. It's going to depend on the number of stacks you get for Valentine, but Avandra's got Find the Secret Stash. So increases the formation's gold find by 100%. But every time a champion attacks but doesn't defeat an enemy, you increase this bonus by 50%, and it's additively, and it goes up to 120 stacks. It resets when an enemy is defeated, but we're not going to be defeating enemies in Azaka gold finds. So this runs up to a very nice number. Avandra's great. Avandra is great for gold find. Do not discount her for gold find in this slot. Even if you have Valentine, check your Valentine numbers, then check Avandra. It might surprise you. Let her run up to 120. It might surprise you. Okay. Oh, that's Viconium. Wrong V in that slot. Valentine. We'll talk about Valentine next. Put her in the formation. Valentine has this thing with Socialite. So the number of positional abilities that are affecting her. Wait, no, that's not it. Life of Leisure, that's it. She increases the formation's gold find by 100% for each positional familiars. For each positional formation ability affecting her, and it stacks multiplicatively. That's the good way, folks. There's also an item that boosts that. But if I remember correctly, it's post stack. It is post stack. So it's not a mathematically OP ability. It doesn't mop, but it is a nice boost to gold find. So this number that's on her when you're building out your gold find formation, the higher the number, the more gold she's going to produce for you. Which again is something you're going to want to potentially build around. See what your numbers are. If you've got her and Avandra, compare the two, right? And then Certainty Drawn, like her dad, likes to make money. It's a family thing, folks. Certainty increases the effect of Secretarian's Advice and your gold find by 1% for each level on AC Inc. or C-Team champions in the formation, stacking additively. This caps at 1,000 levels after the soft cap, so reason to go over the soft cap. She will earn you more money. So in a full AC Inc. /C-Team formation, this number can get pretty ridiculous, but just keep in mind, you might want to just use her even without a bunch of them as well. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. And was there more to that one? I think that was it. That was it. Yeah. And remember, all of these champions, usually if they've got the gold roll, they're going to have gold feats of varying amounts. They might, if they have a straight up gold ability, they might even have gold feats and feats for the ability. And you're going to want to use the biggest combinations, right? But I'm just going to leave her in. Okay, slot 6. I'm going to talk about the Dungeon Master first. Dungeon Master has a thing where he can earn you a little more gold. Disappearing Act. While Dungeon Master is away, the formation's gold find is increased by an amount. And there's an item for that, I think. Yes, right down here. Disappearing Act. Okay, and then his specialization, the left spec doubles it. So Dungeon Master, appropriate to talk about, as we just got Presto, and we're potentially going to get more of the Saturday morning squad. Dungeon Master is a gold find generating champion, and the amount not the worst, but not the greatest for this. So EO5, but he's overshadowed by the Grand Turtle, the king of debuffs, and also one of the kings of gold find in the game, Krull. So Krull has these plagues that he stacks on you, and Plague Pilfer, the green one here, is the one that we're talking about now. It has an item, it has its own item to boost it, and it is Krull Mops. Krull is a mathematically OP champion, and the gold find is that way as well. So Pilfer, as you can see, has been boosted by the items and feats that I have. So infected enemies drop 1,972% more gold per stack. I believe the base value is like 100%. The thing is that you can have up to 10 stacks on an enemy at base. Which means 19,720% when it's at 10 stacks. It's a solid. It's an E4 gold boost. Again, this is on a specific enemy dropping. However, you can have up to 4 instances of those stacks, of those 10 stacks, and each of those instances multiplies against the other. So it is a multiplicatively stacking ability with 4 stacks, supported by an item with a pre-stack modifier. That's the OP way. He also has a damage version of this, which is one of the things that makes him super OP. So he's a great combo champion. You can use him throughout the entire game, but when you pick him up as a new player, he can do this without gear. The multiplicative stuff still gives you a huge bonus that's even stronger than the gear early on. And then the gear, as you level him up, it just makes him even better. He is an early game snowball champion because he can help you push super far and get a lot of favor, and thus get all your blessings and stuff. Pretty great. This Turtle Mops. He needs a janitor skin. So lots and lots and lots of gold. If you can get multiple stacks, and he's got feats that help you get multiple stacks. They're the Virulent Strain feats. And then you see I got Plague. There's a Pain in here for some reason, but he's got Gold Find. He's got it all. So yeah, Krull, one of the MVPs in the game for Gold Find. All right, slot 6. Freely is a combo champion. Not only do they have an ability that stacks and multiplies like Krull's, but it's harder to track. It's a little bit invisible. He also has an ability called Adventurous Tale, which makes him notable. For each area completed with Freely in the formation, you gain a bonus to the divine favor you earn when you complete the adventure. So not only can he help you earn gold, which is down here through Luck of Yandala, which is Requisition Fruit. It drops 10% more gold per stack, and it stacks multiplicatively. He also then turns all that gold you earned into more favor. So Freely is another champion like Omen that you would want in if you know you're doing a deep run. You kind of want them in on Area 1. So because the number of areas you complete creates these multipliers, and then you get a big bonus to your favor when you're done. And once you've earned this, once you've earned all these areas, you can take him out. He can be on the bench, and you still get that favor boost. It's one of the few champions that gives you his functionality on at least one ability from the bench. From the bench. That's not usually a thing. Okay. So Freely, kind of cool. Kind of cool. And has a pirate skin. So win. I'm going to special mention Jim here. Jim has this ability to. He does have the gold find roll. Is this the only reason it's there now? I think it is. Yeah. Jim has the ability with Wand of Wonder to turn an enemy into a mimic, and that mimic drops 10 times the normal amount of gold when killed. This, once upon a time, this was a big deal. This was something you used for Azaka farming. Something changed along the way, and now I don't recommend it at all. So Jim's getting a note here, but this is his only gold find thing, and honestly, I don't feel it's worth it anymore. Yeah. So just know, I mean, you know, when you're running Jim, those mimics that he generates, they're harder to kill, but they give you more gold. Gaarawarr has a gold find function. Traveling Merchant. This is, again, built around Rivals of Waterdeep. So, again, one of those, if you're using a Rivals formation, you can build up a lot of gold. And he does have a spec for that gives you, like, triple instead of just a double. So, Gaarawarr can generate a large amount of gold for you with his little cart. EO4 is what I'm at with just one rival in the formation. Okay. And then we got more. Wait, there's more. Let's go to Vin Ursa. Vin Ursa is a bounty hunter, so obviously is looking to make money. Under bounty hunter, her favored foes drop a lot more gold, along with the other stuff, right? But EO5 is what I'm looking at right now. And there's an item for that. Increase the damage and extra gold from bounty hunter. So, again, item supported, but it's only on favored foes, so very specific situation. And then we move on to Egbert. Egbert is built around atonement stacks. That the specialization now is much easier. You want to go with the one with the higher number. Once your formation is fully built, so we're gonna, maybe we should wait. No, I'm just gonna guess. I'm just gonna guess that we're going with this one. And then the number of atonement stacks change a lot of things, and they have a golden scales ability. Here's another one. Oxventure's Capitalism is the gold find boost. We're going to do that. Again, the more of the Oxventures people you have in, the more gold they're going to help you earn. But also the higher, the more stacks of the atonement stacks you have, either positive or negative, the bigger the gold find is going to get. So right now I'm at about an EO5 off of 4 stacks. So Egbert, solid gold find gain in this slot. And where I go personally for Azaka farming. For Azaka farming, I think we're on to slot 5 now. Yes. No, not 5. 8. Over here, once upon a time, Narak used to help you because their Githzerai Focus used to buff formation abilities, which included gold find abilities, which made it great to have Narak in, even though he wasn't gold find. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. So let's talk about Beetle and Grim. Let's talk about Beetle and Grim. Beetle and Grim, this is the one you would want in. Beetle can smack an enemy that's been damaged and caught, and only if they've been damaged, that's not at full health, they will drop EO5 more gold when they're killed. Doesn't stack, but it is sticky. So you bring them in, they smack the enemy, you swap them out. That's it. That's all you got to do. All right, slot 9, we're talking about Makos, and we're going to have a special mention for Morgaine. Morgaine's name is deceiving here because she doesn't help you more gain gold. She does have a gold find roll. But what she actually does is make you earn less gold. Because she collects 25% of all the gold dropped and turns it into a damage increase. And then she's got an ability that the more gold find the more gold find champions you have, the more damage she increases the damage. She doesn't, but she's not. No. Just no. Okay? There's a reason you would put her in a Zaka farming formation that's at the end, but it's just to boost her numbers. She's got permanent stacks off gold fine. But no, you don't want no. No. Just no. In slot 10, we got we'll come back to Havel. We got Eliwick Tumblestrum, the greatest bard in the multiverse. Everything's RNG with her, the deck of many things, and one of the things that she can get are stacks that make you gain more gold. Okay. Fortunate Soul. So gold find increased by 50%, the ability to increase by 5% for each gem stack she gets. And then you can try to focus in on her gem stacks, but it's true, it's RNG. But she can help you potentially make more money if RNG turns your way. Folks, usually it doesn't. But you can always try. She needs to be in at the start of an adventure. That naughty boy Astarion is new to the game. He's also gold fied, and he earns you gold based off how old the people are in your formation. The total age of all champions, which is so rude, but whatever. And he's got a spec for that. So he's actually solid. It's rude that he's judging. He's making his money based off our age, but he can make us a lot of money, so it's okay. Look at that, 7 EO5, and we don't even have a full formation yet. Now, when it comes to Azaka farming, one of these key champions that you're going to want to have is Havilar. And the reason for that is Havilar's ultimate slows enemies. When you fire it off, it has an explosion that puts a slow on an enemy, and that slow stacks with itself. She's got a specialization that makes it lets you get through the ultimates faster. This is going to become key for Azaka farming, because what we're going to do is we're going to slow an enemy until it's not moving at all anymore, and it's going to be pushed away from us, and then we can do whatever we want from that point on. We can bully it, we can boss it, whatever. Alright, for slot 11 we got Rust on the Harbor. Rust is another one of those champions that you need to prep. Rust has a gold coin. He's going to pick it up. We're going to see it fall on the ground at some point, and we're going to pick it up. And once he's got it, it boosts his abilities. And then you choose a specialization, Rust Reloaded, where he can't lose it again. This keeps his gold find at the highest boost possible. There it is. It's right there. It's right on the bottom. I just picked it up. Now he's got it on him. See that little symbol? Now he's got a gold find boost, and it's boosted even more under one gold it's part of his one gold piece thing. So, but Rust just straight up increases your gold find by a lot. Rust for hire. He's got an item for that. EO7 boost, and then that gets boosted more when he's holding on to his gold piece. All right. So Rust, great for what we're going to be doing here today. Penelope Half Pint, who wants to be your friend, has a weird functionality of gold that's only when people are taking damage. She builds up story time stacks, and then story time provides 15% of the total bonus as a gold find modifier once it's at 15 stacks or more. 12 is where we're going to end up with Azaka anyway, but just know that Penelope does earn you gold. So does Dob, and Dob is pretty fantastic at it. So Dob increases the gold find by 30% for each champion next to him, stacking multiplicatively. So you can technically build that up a lot. But what Dob really does is offshore accounting. He's the worst accountant ever, and the best accountant ever. So every time you change a new area, so Dob needs to be in, before you get to your Azaka farming. Well, you wouldn't use him as Azaka farming, but Dob's a pushing gold find champion, and a really, really good one. So there's a 25% that he sets the champion gold amount to 0. That's this gold up here that you have to spend. But then you gain deposit stacks equal to the exponent of the lost gold, and that's the E value, right? Then Dob increases the damage of one of their abilities and your gold find bonus by 10% for each deposit stack. And it's capped based off the 25 times the highest area completed. So the more you go, the further you go with Dob, the more gold he deposits offshore. And offshore means he literally goes and dumps it in a lake. He goes and throws it in a lake. But you get more damage and more gold finds, so you earn all that gold back fast, and you get a damage boost. So Dob is great for just a general pushing formation. When you're not soft capping, he's key to my. He's in there for my Fortune's Wheel gold find pushing formation that I like to use. So yeah, he's great for people who can't soft cap. Put Dob in. He's going to give you a big buff and a lot of gold in return. It's fantastic, but it's not useful for Azaka farming because Azaka is in this slot, so you're gonna have to swap him out. Vi also has gold find. It's based off her catch and release, so she will turn an enemy into a small glowing crystal sphere on the ground, and when you kill that sphere, it drops more gold. Now the thing is you can turn an enemy into a sphere and then pull Vi out. The enemy will remain a sphere. I don't know if it drops more gold. They were supposed to fix it so that it just continued to drop more gold. But either way, she has a gold find functionality. Azaka, though, is the key to Azaka farming. It's in the name, folks. It's in the name. Azaka's Guiding Hand, which is where Mars's Guiding Hand, the show name, comes from, increases all gold find by a bunch, and this ability is reduced by 50% while Azaka's in Were Tiger form. That's right, she's a Were Tiger. Where? Right there. She's right there. But will transform in a couple attacks. Now she's a Were Tiger. Look at that. She's a Were Tiger. Look, Azaka is so much of a gold farmer. She is so key to gold farming that she has a Farmer Azaka skin. The only thing wrong about the Farmer Azaka skin is that when she hits her ultimate, it doesn't pull out golden retrievers. It should have. It was right there. It was right there, CNE. Okay. So, but it isn't just about that. Azaka farming is about Resist the Curse, which reduces the amount of time she spends in the Were Tiger form by 75%. So she is in her regular form more often, which is key to her ultimate. Her ultimate is the key. She dons her Mask of the Beast, summoning 2 tigers to her side, but in this case, they're mastiffs. They stay for 30 seconds. Now, when you spec into Resist the Curse, the tiger's attacks cause enemies to drop gold even if they aren't killed, and it causes them to drop the gold that they would have dropped if they were killed. So all of those effects that you can put on enemies that cause them to drop more gold when they're killed work with her tigers. I think it was Mars that coined this a long time ago. She bullies enemies for their lunch money, and she just does it over and over. Biggest bully in the game. This is the key to Azaka farming. It just is. Okay, let me see. We haven't even demonstrated Azaka farming yet. We're almost out of time. Who else do I want it in? I wanted like a Maryland in. Maybe. Well, anyway, we're going to rebuild this. We're going to rebuild an Azaka farming formation here in a minute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, hey, we want to push super deep. So let me get my pushing group in. This isn't going to make any sense to people, but hey, this is my pushing group. This is the group I would use if, hey, I got to 2001. What you're going to want to do with Azaka farming is pushing as far as you possibly can go. I'm going to have to drop back. We're going to click. I wish I could just type a number in and go to an area, but we can't do that. You want to push as far as you can go. Azaka farming relies on you getting to a boss level. Removing all but... I've got guides to Azaka farming. There's like a video guide to Azaka farming. You can check that out specifically. You want to remove all but one enemy on the field. All but one. There are people that leave the boss behind. I don't like to leave the boss behind. There's a blessing now that makes bosses give more gold. I just don't like bosses. I don't like the bosses. Because here's the problem. If it's a ranged boss, like magic attack or ranged boss, they're going to keep attacking you. It only works on melee bosses, and that's a restriction I don't want to deal with. So usually you're trying to just separate a single enemy and kill all but a single enemy. There's a lot of strategies for this. Again, once upon a time, it was Jim turning things into the treasure chest. Everything else would die first. Vi's crystal sphere. That's one way to separate an enemy, because then you separate it, you knock it back, the sphere sits on the ground. The rest of the enemies walk towards you. You kill them. Great. Okay. Yeah. Basically, there's a lot of different ways, but you want to be left with a single enemy on the screen at the end. Krull can do this just on their own, which is why Krull's in this formation. It's called just Krull things. If you've ever had Krull in and everything on the screen has died but one enemy, and then it feels like that enemy is now invulnerable to all damage, that was Krull. That was Krull. Because Krull has an ability called Traitor, which you build up traitor stacks on an enemy, you hit that enemy, and that enemy pulses damage out to everybody else, but at a higher amount of damage, and kills all their friends. But then you can't kill it because everything was only going to die because of the traitor thing. So that's just Krull things. But that's perfect for Azaka farming because it leaves an enemy behind, right? So in this case, we're killing off everything, and hey, look, I've got a single enemy. That's the goal that we're shooting for. Now, you want to shoot for this type of goal, though, at the highest potential boss level that you can get to. You don't necessarily want to be on a boss level that has you don't want to be on a boss that has an armored boss, a level that has an armored boss. If you're going to leave the boss alive, the boss has to be melee. In which case, it could be an armored boss. That's easy to do. But generally speaking, what you want is to find like a nice little enemy minion that you can clear off on the highest place that you can get. And this isn't gonna, for whatever reason, this isn't working. Come on. It doesn't want to do the thing. But this is good for demonstration purposes. This is fine for demonstration purposes. So, you're going to generate a single enemy. Now, with Krull, the big thing here, like we were talking about earlier, is the multiplicative stacks. It's the pilfer stacks. They're the stacks that are at the bottom. It's those green stacks at the bottom. Let's get all the familiars off the field. You would want to redo this. It says 10 currently. You would want to redo this until this says 30 or ideally 40. You're only ever going to get to 40 if you have both of the virulent strain feats. Again, see Azaka farming videos for more details about this. But this is where we want to get to start. Once we have everything the way we want, then we swap in Gaarawarr and we spam that ult. And we can start taking out other champions. We leave knockback champions in. We leave Krull in. It's important. He will lose all the stacks if you don't. But I've got a knockback and slow champions in. I'll take the slow in. We got a knockback champion in Ayla. We've got Gaarawarr spamming a slow. We've still got Krull in. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to let our bud drop. It's just going to be dropping because we don't want to kill the enemy, right? I know that sounds odd, but we don't want to kill the enemy. Instead, then we go in and we start adding whatever gold find champions we want. Like we can put in Dinar, and Dinar's already got the gold. No, that's the slow. Like there's the symbol for the gold. I can kind of see it off screen. I just know it. It's... It's been a long time, but I know it now. And then we start swapping in all the gold find champions that we want to build out our highest potential gold generation formation, right? I'm just going to go easy with Avandra because she's easy like Sunday morning. Because I'm not going to get a ton of gold here because I'm not anywhere near. Well, I'll get some. I'm not near my my highest wall though, so I'm not going to get the most possible. I'm going to throw Eggbird in. Who else? Oh, this enemy is hurt, so this is perfect for Beetle and Grim. I'm just going to put him in. I'm going to wait to see Beetle. There, he attacked, so he bonked him. He's debuffed. I can take him out now. It's that straightforward, folks. They've been bonked. They can come out. I'm going to throw a Starion in because all of that age. As you can see, the enemy is moving around a little here, but they're not moving towards our formation. It's just the knockback that's bouncing them around the group. I can take the knockback out now. And then we're going to go for more gold. So more rust. More rusts. We're going to go Azaka, obviously, because it's Azaka farming. And I can put one more person in. And lately it's been, I've just been throwing Tahani in. Now, my gold find was at EO5 when we started this, folks, and now I'm up into the E47s. Big a difference when you're using a full gold find formation. I went from EO5 gold find to E47 gold find. So as long as we can kill something, or as long as we can make it drop gold as if kills, we can make a lot of gold here. But we can still boost this even further. Remember, this is when I said once you've got this set up, you drop all your gold find potions. And now we're at E49%. Fantastic. Now there are other ways, like we might still be ticking up over here. Nope, she's at max, so she's got her 300 max. So E4. Avandra should be at max now too. Yep, E7 gold find bonus. Beefy. Beefy, love it. Astarian's now going to have a super high number. Generational wealth 815, so we're 9 EO5. Everything's going well. Now, the one that just stacks forever is Adventuring Capital. So you just, as long as you're at a solid number, we're at EO8, you're great. It would have been way higher if I'd started this adventure with Omen in the group, but it is what it is. Now, again, I could, depending on who you have, Valentine might be good here. We're running out of time, but I can't explain. I can't go into all of that. Valentine, you would move and try to get the highest number of incoming positional formation abilities for her to test out her gold find feature versus Avandra. Like I said, I think Avandra is just beefy. For me, Avandra was better than Valentine, but it's going to depend on items and gear and item levels and stuff, right? So now all we got to do is hit this button and watch the gold fall, right? The gold's just going to pool up because we're not moving forward. But right now, I already have a very high number, 7E56 gold. I don't know, because I'm not at my actual wall. I will do this later. I don't know that we're going to see a huge boost, but you can expect a gold find boost from usually from Azaka farming. That's anywhere from raising that number 3 or 4 E, so E3 or 4 up, to like E12 or higher. I have had E12 boosts from Azaka farming, okay? And you don't need to sit in Azaka farm for a very, very long time. Honestly, the first set of tigers is the biggest jump that you're going to get in terms of E values, but you might be able to keep going and get another 1 E. If you want another EO1 more, you could do it again. Let's see. Well, I went to E58. So even though I'm like 500 levels or over 400 levels from my wall, I still gained EO2 this far back. So if I were all the way at 2000, doing it to this 2000, which is what I pushed to, we could see a significantly higher boost. We could have seen potentially an E10 gain. Who knows? I will during the musical break. I will mess with this a bit and we'll see what happens. But this is the kind of I was talking about leapfrogging earlier. This is the way you kind of leapfrog. You push as far as you can go, and you're not soft capped, but you push as far as you can go. Stops, isolate a mob on a boss level, Azaka farm it, earn a ton of gold, put your pushing formation back in, level them up. If they're not at soft cap, you keep going, and if they're not soft cap, you do it again. We call it leapfrogging. You're just leapfrogging. You're stopping, you're earning a bunch of gold, leveling up your pushing champions, continuing to push, stopping, earning a bunch of gold, and it's just you're leapfrogging from place to place. It's one way that you could potentially get to your soft cap via gold find champions, via Azaka farming, even if you just don't have the favor to do it right away. Now, when you first get on Azaka, you're only going to have a handful of gold find champions like Jarlaxle, and who knows else. So Azaka farming isn't as strong when you initially start out, but it can still give you, again, 3 or more on adds anywhere like 2 to 5 to your exponents of favor based off the gold find champions you have. And early on, that's significant because maybe you're only at E15 favor. Getting another 3 to 4, getting up to E18 or E19, significant boost for your pushing. And then the next time you do it, you're going to gain even more because you went further. The only when you the so as long as you're getting more favor, significantly more favor, the next time you do a run with your now boosted favor, you're going to earn more from Azaka. But once you get to the point where your favor is pretty static, more Azaka runs aren't going to help you. Okay, then you just need more power to go further. Right? All right. I've only got 3 questions so far. So if you have questions about all this, and something tells me you guys have a lot more questions than that, folks. Throw the questions in chat. Question colon in front of them like it shows down below. Gabe will grab them. The song we're going to listen to right now. Oh, Jarlaxle, because he's your first major goal find champion. This is the Secret Lord of Luskan. Enjoy.
From his eye patch and his ostentatious hat. His wardrobe is in purple and he moves sly like a cat. Never-ending daggers and the charisma to match. His bracelets sometimes jangle and his boots make quite the noise. A wand that sticks you in your tracks is one of many toys. There's seemingly no end to all the tricks that he employs. He's the secret Lord of Luskan. In your side is thoroughly thrusting. Better hope that you've got a tough skin. So beware any fool who trusts him. He's the king of misdirection. He's a proud iconoclast. He's a grand manipulator and his resources are vast. He's a mercenary captain with his foes tied to the mast. He's the master of disaster from men's Oberon's ass. He pulls on threads of intrigue better than a trial matron. He says he's just a businessman, but that's his biggest con. He's the secret Lord of Luskan. In your side is thoroughly thrusting. Better hope that you've got a tough skin. So beware any fool who trusts him. His name is Jarlaxle Banneray. Chaos puppeteer at play. Takes what he wants, then fades away. He's the secret Lord of Luskan. In your side you start with thrusting. Better hope that you've got a tough skin. So beware any fool who trusts him. He's the secret Lord of Luskan. In your side is start with thrusting. Better hope that you've got a tough skin. So beware any fool who trusts him.
Oh, hey, we're back. Trying to creep us further towards 2000. I got there. I know it works, but it's being annoying today. So we'll do that in the background. Okay. Where are we at? Questions. Here we go. Tim Thal has started us off with, was it certainty drawn that causes additive gold find to creep up over time? It's omen drawn. I don't know. It certainly might have a feature like that. But Omen's the one that basically every time a champion of Timora attacks, you get another stack of to his gold find boost. So yeah, Omen's kind of a big deal for that. I can't remember. Certainties is slightly different, but it might have a creep. She's super new. This is one of the things as they release new gold find champions, you got to learn their specific ins and outs. TG Nubis, do Azaka transformations count as costume changes for Jim? Wow, that's a sort of related, not really. I don't remember. That's more of a Jim question than a gold find. So my head isn't in that space. I don't remember. Oh, Lurking Rider. Is Azaka a lycanthrope or not? No, because she's not a werewolf. She's a were-tiger. But the game considers her a lycanthrope. The game's like... C&E's like, anyone that changes into something else is a lycanthrope. No. Those are wolves. That's a were... It's in the... It's lycan. That's a wolf. What are you doing? What are you doing, C&E? But I think that's also a Wizards of the Coast thing. You know, they're wrong. Look, they're wrong on the internet. Yo Samao, as a new player is a few slots away from Split the Party 1. For seat 6, would you generally recommend a Snowball Gold Find champion like Krull? Yes. To do is that, well, so there's two things. I love the Snowball and Krull. I also love the Speed and Shandy, but if you're super new, Krull's just super nice. And he'll be useful all game. So will Shandy. So either way, you're fine. To do the Zaka farming push super deep or someone like Shandy for consistent speed. So yeah, I mean, you're right there. It's one of those two. Choose which one you want more of. But if what you would like is the ability to more easily complete adventures, and get lots of favor for your blessings, Krull also enables some of the, this kind of shenaniganry. Niskus called me out. You forgot to do Merylwyn's ultimate when Russ was on the field. This is true. So part of Merylwyn's gold find boost, with Rust on the field, she'll boost Rust's gold find. So you want to hit that ultimate before you want to hit, if you're using Merylwyn and Rust together in your Zaka gold find, you want to hit Merylwyn's ultimate right before you hit the Tigers. I just made a mistake. I had a lot going on. I was rushing. Prince Value Max, my Krull never separates enemies like that. What's the trick? If they never separate enemies like that for you, then I don't know what's going on. Also, Krull has a Pilfer specialization. You want him in Pilfer for gold find pushes. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's just a function of his trader. It's a function of his trader ability. It should just happen. It's not always going to happen, but you can create situations where it happens. That's a 40 stack Pilfer. That's a 40 stack bear. Oh, I can't believe it. All right. Got a 40 stack bear. All right, let me try this at a higher level. Maybe it's just being finicky. But yeah, it's just kind of a function of pushing with Krull. Eventually he's going to do that. One of the keys about, and there's a trick to, again, you want to watch my specific Azaka farming videos. Even the older ones where I'm saying use Jim, don't use Jim. They may not have all the same champions, but the core theories and practice still remains. Separating enemies, how to build Krull's Pilfer stacks easier, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Why am I rushing through this part? This part of the show is like, I can slow down. Nice. Mean Cab asks, are there any gold champions that are highly gear dependent? Yeah, a number of them. If I get a potion of polish, would they be a slot machine on a piece of gear? Well, no. I mean, it's gonna boost the gold that they're dropping. So if you're trying to focus on earning more gold in an Azaka farm, that's something you could do. But generally, gilding is you want to put those on mathematically OP abilities first. And speed, any kind of speed abilities first. And then, things like gold would be a later consideration. But you can. Like we talked about, now that I don't have the gold farm group out here, I don't, like, off the top of my head, I'm like, what? Krull's Pilfer, obviously, is a good one. Avandra's got one of these. Is it Find the Secret Stash? Whatever Avandra's is. Merylwyn's Liquidity, I've got hers golden, right? Those are things that are going to earn you more gold. So you can. Omen, I think Omen has an adventuring capital one. Omen's fully gilded, so yes. I've got a golden on Omen's adventuring capital. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely items that you can gild, but here's the thing: gilding really only matters if you've got lots of item levels on an item. because you're effectively boosting the power by 50% for a silver or 100% for a gold, right? Um, and a function of that power that you're boosting is based off their item levels. So if you've only got 10 item levels, it's sort of like taking them to 15 with a shiny or 20 with a gold, which isn't that a whole lot, right? But when you've got like 500 item levels on them or something, then it becomes a big deal. I mean, it is helpful, but just know you know investing investing item levels in them is going to be can get you the same place just as the gilding can. But El Jefe, as a fairly new player, would you recommend focusing to build a gold farm team to enable pushing and favor over other strategies? No. Focus is important early on. There's so many options for new champions. Yeah, there are, but a lot of people ask that question, and I'm like, no, you never want to do that. As a new player, you never want to do that. However, for Turn of Fortune's Wheel, you can actually do that. This is the place where I said where the gold find is not a ramp. It's just a slightly tilted parking lot. It's horrible. Early on, honestly, speed is great. Again, like so I said, the crawl snowball is a trade-off for speed in that slot, but speed is great. Because the speed champions are going to provide you plenty of power, but they're also going to make you complete things faster, which lets you not only move through your campaign progress faster, but also earn you gems faster, which means you can buy more gold chests, which means you get better gear and all the consumables that go with it, which means your overall progress is faster. So speed champions tend to be the early game priority, with someone like Kroll being an exception because he's just so good. But you can use both. You can get Shandy and Kroll and use them both in that slot. So yeah, there's a speed snowball going on. Kroll is more of a favor snowball because of the pushing power and gold find that's all in one single kit. But yeah, early on you're better off with speed. And again, in general, you're better off pushing as far as you can with a pushing formation, then switching to an Azaka formation, farming up gold, switching back to the pushing formation, leveling your champions up, rinse, repeat, right? King of Sloth, can Vi's crystal transformation stack with Jim's mimic? No. You can't be a crystalline mimic. You're either a crystal sphere or you're a mimic. You can't be both. I am toast. When you showed Omen earlier, it displayed the amount of stacks and the resulting boost. When I look at mine, all I see is the boost. How do I get mine to show stacks? There's a setting for that. The developers thought people would be overwhelmed with lots of information. So under interface, there is it under interface? Oh, maybe not. Under display. No. Wait. Graphics? Oh, God. Where'd they put it? Oh, no. I never look for it. Hold on, folks. We'll find it. We'll find it. Oh, effect description. Here we go. I was looking down here. No, effect description under interface. I was right. Switch it from basic to advanced, and you'll get more information in your formation buffs tab. I was looking down here instead of just right here. It has its own section. So interface advanced, and you'll see more information when looking at that formation buffs tab. I really don't understand why this worked yesterday and isn't working today. That was better. That was better. Okay. Envy me. Envy me? Thinking about getting Human as my speed champ. Yeah. I think most people would agree with that. Am I on the right tack or should I prioritize someone else? I think most people would agree with Human. I'm usually like a Briv first kind of person. Oh, right here. He's already out. I'm usually a Briv first kind of person. But Human first. I think more people probably would say Human first. I just prefer Briv first. I like having a beefy tank and letting everybody and then using whoever else I want behind a beefy tank. Yeah. I just do. So push. I get a. I like that. I don't think you have a beefy tank early on, but if you have a beefy tank already, Human paired with a beefy tank is good. But otherwise, I usually start on a new player count. I usually start with Briv. But yeah, they're both right up there, kind of top tier speed champions. It's just Briv is also top tier tank, and I just like starting there. But yeah, I think it's fine. Either way, you're going to be fine. But a lot of people would say Human is totally fine. Prince Valium. They were awake enough. Their yawning didn't stop them from asking this question. Marriage is what brings us here together today. How does this pushing team work? They're talking about my pushing team on the screen right now. Oh no. Who is killing? That's a very good question. These are two very good questions. How does this work? Who is killing? Gromma and Briv provide very little damage for me. Why are they in your deep pushing formation? Wow, really? Gromma and Briv aren't in your... You don't like Gromma or Briv? Okay, first off, let's address this situation. Briv is arguably one of the top 3 tankiest health-based champions, or tanks in the game. Top 3. So let's address that. For the other two being like Ayla and Tyrell, there are some other beefy options now. I think I found Karlach does well. I found Commodore Crux does well. Kreidel is a good pushing non-health based tank, but look, Briv straight up when they're armored, so when they're getting attacked, they take 10% less damage. So they have damage reduction built into their kit. But they also have healing flows. So whenever they're hit, basically after either 10 hits or 10 seconds, whichever comes first, Flow heals Briv and heals everyone in the party. It starts off at like half the damage that they took during that time. But there's ways to boost the damage that they're doing. Hold on, let me pop a specialization potion here. Oh god, I leveled up everyone. Oh no, where is he? There he is. Okay. Go with the flow spec. This is actually better than tempered steel, in my opinion. It increases healing flow by another 50%. That's not additively, that's multiplicatively. So healing flow, now Briv's healing 75% of the damage that he took, which is effectively a delayed 75% damage reduction. So as long as they're not getting killed in 10 hits or 10 seconds, they negate that damage by healing themselves. Now, when you combine that with other things like, Mert's got a perk that increases the healing received by all tank champions by 50%. That's multiplicative against that 75. That takes Briv up to over 100% healing. So as long as Briv lives for 10 hits or 10 seconds, he gets all his health back. Effectively 100% damage reduction. It's just slightly delayed. So the only time Briv really dies is if you either one-shot him with a hit, or you can do enough damage in 10 hits, in less than 10 seconds, to get rid of all of his health. And that's before you combine him with other champions that also can make him tankier, right? So this is what makes him generally considered to be like one of the best tanking champions in the game. Yeah. So not putting him in there is look, he may not be your best buffing tank, but at a certain point when you're pushing, it's not about how much damage you're doing. I mean, you can try to do glass cannon. If you have infinite damage in a glass cannon build, then it doesn't matter how tanky your tank is. You'll still clear the screen. But generally speaking, this game is built around the concept of enemies building up on a tank and giving buffs based off them getting enemies building up on them, and that let you do more damage to clear the screen. So a combination of survivability and damage is generally your best pushing formation, because if you're never triggering the tanking buffs on your tank, why are they there? Right? In Briv, basically, there are a lot of champions now who, the longer you are on an area, the more they're going to be buffing, and Briv can keep you on an area for a very, very, very long time. This is why I said Briv's super strong, and usually in people's deep pushing formations. But again, Ayla and Tyrell also strong, but they're strong for a different reason. They self shield, so they give themselves temp HP shields that are multiples of their total health, so they can give themselves, over 100% of their health in a self shield potentially, which means all the damage they're taking is coming out of those shields first, and they reset those shields. Now Tyrell needs his item, his slot 6 item capped, so that his ultimate is firing off every 60 seconds, because his shield only lasts like 60 seconds. But he can then refill it constantly. And they're both based off like the numbers of enemies on the screen, but yeah. Those are big deals. Now, are there some other tanks that are getting good? Yes. But Briv is solid even without having to self-shield. Even before because he has built-in damage reduction, and then you can add like a Myria to give you even more. Briv's just the super beefy. Briv's super beefy. And Gromma's always been a standout for me, because she has a debuff. It's an AoE debuff. It's a freezing breeze. It's specifically part of her Circle of the Arctic spec. That's the spec you would use for her as a support, or even as a tank, honestly, because she gets the same amount of health either way. You can DPS with her, but and she's okay. She's actually a solid DPS. She's not an OP DPS, but Circle in the Arctic turns her a base attack into an AoE, and then Freezing Breeze at 200 makes debuffs enemies so they take more damage. But the other part of this is that enemies get slowed and their attack times are doubled, which means you're taking damage half as much damage, or you're getting attacked half as often, which is kind of like taking half as much damage, which is great for Briv, because as long as he lives 10 seconds, he gets all his health back, right? So kind of a great combination. I mean, she may not be there, but she's not. Omen is super strong now, so if you've got an Omen, you might be using Omen. Spurt, if you've got a lot of item levels here on his Danger Maker, ridiculous. BBEG, super strong if your DPS is dumb or isn't super smart. They need like low int champions, and then of course a lot of people ride the Artemis train. But Gromma's solid. I don't Artemis, so. Now how does this team work? There's a bug in the game currently that clearly was working for me yesterday when I started this, because I pushed all the way to 2000. You saw me click on it earlier. But I don't know why it's not working at the moment. It is sort of working, but it's not working right. I mean, I wouldn't be able to push and clear the field like this if it wasn't working. It's just not working the way that I'm used to it working at the moment. So when I'm not, normally I can just walk right back up to, I call it just like walking up levels and get all the way back to area 2000 again. And for some reason, it's not walking as much as it used to. But it did fine yesterday because I got to 2000. Anyway, there's a bug with debuffs, where lots of debuff champions. I mean, the simplified version of this is, you put in a lot of debuffers, the debuff stack, for some reason, it allows enemies it allows champions that shouldn't be killing to kill. Not really though, because like the damage that it says they're doing, like you notice my running average for Arkira is 0, and yet Arkira's setting my Bud. Bud's buggy, folks. It's weird. That's why we call it Bud's buggy. It's a joke off Bugs Bunny. But it's a function of debuffers and strong, like having strong. I've got really strong debuffs and item levels and stuff. But there's like some other things that combine with it, and we really haven't been able to figure out what's the cause. I've talked to people at CNE about it. I've submitted tickets. It's very, I don't know. It's very hard for them to they can't seem to do what I can usually do easily. And I think that's just practice. And I'd wanted to sit down with Mars, and show him how to repeatedly make it happen so that he could, he talks to those people more often than I do, so then he could explain it better, or more easily explain it to more people. But he's been real busy lately with stuff, so we haven't had the ability to do that. But anyway, as you kill with this on boss levels, for whatever reason, the Bud goes up normally. Right now it's not. It's not climbing. The increase in the Bud is usually related to the area monster health, and usually when I kill this enemy, it spikes my Bud up to above the health that it normally would take to kill here, and you just keep walking all the way up to the end of the run without upgrading champion. It's ridiculous. I've been trying to get them to fix it for so long, because anytime I try to do a deep push, there's usually at least one debuffer in my formation, and then my formation breaks and goes Bud's buggy, and then I can't tell. And then I have no way of knowing, like, am I pushing with a pushing champion, or am I pushing with the bug? No way to know. So I just kind of gave up about 6 months ago. And I gave up building actual pushing formations, because I could never get them to work anymore. You can't recreate it. It's real simple. Just these 19 steps in order. Well, here's the thing: is again, until recently. Well, again, last night I didn't even. I AFK'd to 2000 with this. I didn't have to do this at all. So I don't know what changed. I don't know why. This is one of the weird things. I don't know what made it so that it didn't want to work today when it was working just fine last night. But 90% of the time, it works every time. JJ of the North, I'm wondering how to prioritize blacksmith contracts. Wow! That's a timely question. I have Briv and I'm putting 100% into him, but his speed on him is only item level 148. Do I continue pumping all the contracts in him, or spread them onto other speed like Human or my DPS? So you want them on your speed champions. You're doing the right thing. You do want to invest your blacksmithing contracts early on onto speed champions that have item support, and Briv is one of those. Whether you want to stay with Briv or switch to Human, that's going to be a you thing. I think a lot of people in chat were probably like, switch to Human. Human realizes their speed effect a little faster, but Briv realizes their speed effect slower, but is also getting you lots of survivability because they have a health item, as well as buffs because they've got a buffing item. Whereas Human's just going to give you speed and buffs. But their buffs don't even really kick in if they're in the speed position. Whereas Brivs are just always on. Their just speed buff isn't always on, right? So it's a trade-off. But yeah, you are doing the right thing. I said this is timely because I'm in the middle of, or actually right towards the end of, a new guide called Blacksmithing Contracts 101. And it's going to go over a lot of like how to make priority decisions and who are the champions that are like this and like that, and we talk about, this is where we were talking about MOPS earlier. For those that doesn't make any sense to, it's because it's based off an explanation of mathematically overpowered champions, MOP, MOPS. Well, mathematically overpowered abilities. See, even I'm screwing it up. It's mathematically overpowered abilities, which means a champion MOPS. That's what we started calling it. That should be out next week. I think I'll probably finish it Monday and post it. I've been making my guides on stream, so that'll probably get posted Monday. Yeah, hopefully it'll help people. It's not, again, I don't do definitive guides. I do new player guides. So giving you the base information so you can make your own decisions. But you should have more information there. Mathematically optimal pizza. That's just, I mean, that's pizza. Cheese pizza is the mathematically optimal pizza because everybody, if you're willing to eat a pizza, you'll eat cheese pizza. So just making cheese pizza means everybody gets to eat pizza. I learned that when I was running after school programs, right when I was out of college. Don't buy a variety of different kind of pizzas when you're having pizza day at a school. You just buy cheese. Because if you buy it with toppings, you're just going to have leftovers. But if you just get cheese, it's all gone. It's all gone. You don't eat pizza. Well, look, if you're allergic to cheese, you don't like cheese. I'm sorry. That's unfortunate. But cheese pizza, OP. That's actually, if I go to it, like if I'm trying out a pizza place and I want to know, like, are all their pizzas going to be good? I will order a cheese pizza. Because if you're a pizza place and you screw up a cheese pizza, I don't trust anything else you make. And if your cheese pizza is just bland and boring, then that tells me all your pizzas with toppings, that you're just trying to cover up your bland, boring pizza with the toppings. No. Find yourself a place that makes a good cheese pizza, and there's a good chance that everything else is going to be delicious. Prince Valium, sometimes encounter a bug where certain effects on champions won't work anymore. Yes. Removing, adding fixes. So does this. If you saw me swap champions like this earlier, this also re-triggers abilities that have just decided to shut off for whatever reason. This is most notable on Artemis, but it happens on everyone. One of the other ways you can tell if a champion has stopped working completely is if you have familiars like I do down here, smashing all the ultimate buttons. If the ultimate button stops working and becomes gold ringed, you need to shuffle that champion around because the champion's frozen. The game just stopped recognizing that champion even exists, and most likely nothing that they're supposed to do is happening. Yeah. Can you explain how to do the Gosrick Freely switcheroo to optimize an Azaka farm? Can I? Yes. Am I gonna? Probably not. I mean, I can do the TLDR. Here's the thing. I do not like to play this game hyper manipulatively. I don't like last second swaps to get every kind of maximum. This has been around for everything forever. It's been a part of power pushing. It's been a part of gold farming. I don't like it. The game has idle in the name. I want to play it idly. Don't like it. So I'm not usually the person who's trying to do all that kind of stuff. Can I explain it? Sure. So when Freely attacks, and you say to Gosrick, and I don't even use Gosrick in that slot. I use Egbert because Egbert's nut values are higher for me than Gosrick's. When Freely attacks, as I said when I explained Freely, they have a debuff that they place that makes an enemy drop more gold when they die. It is sticky. We talked about sticky debuffs. It's sticky, but it lasts for a short period of time. It doesn't last forever. So you can stack up, get ready to fire off your Zaka ultimate, switch Freely to someone else, like Egbert or Gosrick, and then hit the ultimate and get both. That's too much work for me. That's too much work for me. For whatever reason, I'll manipulate pilfer stacks until I get 40, which is, a good amount of work. But I don't want to, I'll do anything for gold, but I won't do that. I don't know why. I don't like it. But you can do it. Like, there's all kinds of little things like there. Again, I don't do definitive guides to things. I do introductory guides to things. So everybody hopefully has more information on gold farming and a kind of an intro to Azaka farming. Again, I have other videos on Azaka farming. So, where I spend the whole time demonstrating and explaining Azaka farming. If this lurking rider wants to know if Phil were a champion, what tags would he have? Would he make Are You Chicken easier or harder to complete? Well, first off, if there's chickens in the variant, Phil would make it harder. Phil is a chicken, folks. This is a reference to the game Cook Serve Delicious 3. Rip Phil, pour one out. I don't know. I don't know what tags they would have. The DPS probably, because they went on a rampage. The chicken went on a rampage, took a bunch of people out, and that's how we ended up with Jerk Chicken. That game is silly. Okay, 254. Is there an easy way to stack Briv up from 0? I mean, like steel bones stacks? There's only one way to stack Briv to get Briv stacks, and that's to get hit. That's it. Briv just has to get hit. Is there an easy way to do that? Yeah, use Briv and push deep. You have to get hit. You have to get hit. Like my Briv has been hit in this adventure 2,401 times. You just got to get hit. That's it. There's no other way to build Briv stacks. So I think the question that you want to ask is not that one. It's something else. So you're probably not hearing an answer you really want to hear. You need to ask me the question that you really need to ask me. But only you know what that is. I don't. Yeah. So what are you trying to do? Because that question doesn't get you the answer. Oh yeah, there's more manual play. You can switch him between parties and maintain. You could switch him to another party. Like if I were out of sprint stacks, he's got 2 different stacks. If I were out of sprint stacks, like I am here, technically I could pull him out of this party, put him in another one, get more sprint stacks, come back. Ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody got time for that. You're going to deny the existence of offline Briv stacking? I'm going to tell you that it's pointless. Why? Why do it? Why? Why not just use Briv the right way? All this manipulative stuff to do things that weren't intended. That's not what I do here, folks. You can take that to Discord. You can take it to Reddit. You can talk wherever on your own streams. I'll talk about that stuff on my stream. But that's not what I do here. Right? This is an official CNE stream. We talk about how things were intended to be used for the most part. For the most part. We'll talk about shenaniganry too. Emergent gameplay. Azaka farming is a form of emergent gameplay. But anything that manipulates the game beyond what was intended to really kind of get around things that are supposed to work a certain way, that's not for here. That's not for here. I think I've been pretty consistent about that. I've been pretty consistent about that. Yeah. This bug is just so inherent to the thing. I've shown it off. We've never done a tutorial show on it before, but it's not the first time. I just can't. For the most part, I can't get it to not work. So, just whatever. Omnomnom's trying to argue with me in chat. Zalka farming wasn't intended. Right, that's emergent gameplay. I just said emergent gameplay we talk about. Emergent gameplay and manipulating... no. I'm not going to argue with you, ultimately. We don't do that here. If I'm talking about something, it's most likely emergent gameplay. Manipulating a problem with offline progress or manipulating how you use multi-party stuff. Again, you can talk about that all you want other places. I don't have to do that here. If CNE hasn't come out and been like, oh, it's fine, then I'm probably not going to have that conversation here. Because right now, I'm working for CNE. Right? But they have no problem with Azaka farming. They've said, yeah, we didn't intend that, but it doesn't break the game, so we're fine with it. Clearly. I'm out of questions, folks. Put question colon in front of your questions. Please. Yeah, this just doesn't. I don't know. I don't know why. It worked fine yesterday. Not today. We'll get that. We'll get it fixed hopefully soon, and then I can go back to pushing with my new primary DPS, Carlock. Because Carlock is Bay. The Carlock is Bay. The Farmer Azaka skin tells me Sienna is okay with it. I don't know. There's lots of things that tell you Sienna's okay with it. I mean, look, they had a chance to nerf Artemis finally, or fix Artemis, which is technically true, but it would have nerfed him. Didn't do it, so that tells me they're fine with Artemis, right? You can see the decisions they make and determine what Sienna thinks about certain things. Yeah. Walking Rider, what can we expect on Idle Chatter, Guidle Chatter in next week's GG2E and tutorial shows? So I stream Idle Champions on my channel, Twitch TV/Gaarawarr, on Mondays and Wednesdays. Monday I'll be finishing the the blacksmithing contracts 101 guide. Wednesday we have a new event. Dynahair. Nobody's asking about Dynahair. New champion. Who dis? Dynahair is coming to the game, folks, from Baldur's Gate. Super cool champion. The champion spotlight is up. It's right over here. So I'll be making on Wednesday that event starts. I'll be making a guide for Dynahair live, and making the final event. It's the final event 1.0. So I'll be making that final event guide, a 1.0 guide live on Wednesday, posting them for people. Yeah, that'll be Wednesday. GG2E, I don't know. Whatever. GG2E is the Q&A show, so the topic there is always whatever people are asking in chat. There might be some, off little topic that I put in the box, but that's second only to. That's more just filler at the start while people are putting questions in. And then next week's tutorial show. Well, the way that works is if an event just started, then the tutorial show right after that is about the event. So we'll cover the final event 1.0 and its 3 champions, which is going to be who? Dynahair, Solok, and Desmond. Dynahair, Solok, and Desmond. Nice. That's a good combination. TG Nubis, since you gave your tips on how to judge a good pizza, what's your take on burritos? Oh, man, people like their burritos almost as different as they like their pizza. So if we're going the same ruling for burritos as cheese pizzas, if you can find a place that can make you just a good bean burrito, they probably make really good Mexican food. Not always, but most of the time. Same with the cheese pizzas. They can make a really good cheese pizza, probably got really good pizza. They can make you a really good bean burrito, or if you want a really good beef and bean burrito. But just straight bean burrito, if you can find a place that just really makes a good bean burrito, it's probably a pretty good Mexican place. Probably, because if they can't get refried beans right, come on. Ian Sam, is there a certain favor that allows the familiars to complete a level, i.e. to complete level 650? What favor will I need? There probably is, and I don't look at it that way. I don't look at those formulas. There are a lot of people that do that. They just try to figure out how much favor they have to earn to complete levels and just by clicking, so they don't have to actually do them with formations. I'm not one of those people. So you probably need to ask in the Discord. Somebody's got a chart for that, I'm sure. I mean, Kev, do you have an example of a new player account of what a low-level gold farm might look like? I mean, it's going to be just, if you're a Zaka farming, you've got a Zaka in, you've got Jarlaxle in, that's the core. Hitch to boost Jarlaxles, bonus. If you've got Dritz, you throw Dritz in there to boost Jarlaxle's gold find bonus. You're not going to have a lot. If a brand new account isn't going to have a lot to work with. And the rest is going to depend on what event champions you've unlocked, because those are the only core ones. They're going to be providing gold for you at that point. So Rogues and Drow to go with Jarlax along with Azaka and whoever else you've got. Ultimately, it's about whoever you've got that gives you the best buffs. So, like I said, even if you're a higher level person, I mean, if you've gone hardcore on Valentine, they're going to beat your Avandra. But if you haven't, test Avandra and Valentine out, see which one's better. That's what you got to do. Just like with a pushing formation, you have to test your gold find formations and see what's going to be better. Yeah. Sky Chiller, I've been playing for a little over. I'm going to go. We're almost out of time. I've been playing for a little over a year and I got all champs. Should focus. Nice. First off, nice. Should focus my items in terms of pushing on absolute adversaries since they seem to be becoming very strong with tadpole stacks. They have mathematically OP abilities, every last one of them. So they have an interesting formation. Whether that's where you should be putting all of your focus on or not, that's up to you. But yeah, I mean, they look like they're going to deliver. TG Nubis, will Dynahair make Minsk great again? God, I hate that, but Dynahair makes Minsk a tank, folks. We have a champion that changes the whole functionality of another champion now. Dynahair literally gives Minsk the tanking role and gives anybody in the front column that didn't have 25 overwhelm, like if they had less than that gives them 25 overwhelm. What? And she's a speed champion. And she has the potential. We have to see if the items are pre-stack or post-stack. She's got 2 multiplicatively stacking abilities. If at least one of those buffs the pre-stack, she mops. Which would be the first, and she's got an item for her speed effect. So she would be the first mopping speed champion. Strange Edison, is there an effective strategy to farm epics for a champion, or is it just spamming time gates? A combination of time gates and opening patron chests. And events 2.0 once that arrives. Tim Thalos, someone mentioned with Sean and Mars how Freely's Adventurous Tale may be sticky, even if he is benched from party or D-push. Yes. It's not sticky, it's just you've earned the reward, you're getting it no matter what. Can we use this for current free Timegate weekenders? Now we're doing for Timegate free plays. Timegates, this is the irony of me having done this push on a Timegate. Timegates convert favor at 2.5% per E value, as opposed to events that convert at 10% per E value. So Timegates, you get less reward for the effort. If it's really easy for you to earn favor in a Timegate, you can grind Timegates for favor and convert them into Fortune's Wheel. But yeah. Evil Emperor Zerg asks, final question, is this the final countdown for events? For events 1.0. If you don't know, folks, events 2.0 are coming March 6th. But this is our final event 1.0, and that's going to be it. Thanks for hanging out today. Thank you for asking all the questions. Thank you, Gabe, for grabbing all the questions. There won't be another stream on this channel until Tuesday. But again, I stream over on my channel. I'll put in there you go. You click on my name in chat and toss me a follow. Mondays and Wednesdays, we do Idle Chatter. Other days of the week, I just stream a variety of games. Currently, I stream a variety of games. Right now, we're streaming a game called Have a Nice Death, which comes with a content warning that should be understandable. Dark humor game about death. You play as death, so there's a lot going on. But dark humor about death and bad working environments. But once the collections rework drops at the end of the month on the 28th, I'm going to be streaming like Idle Champions all the time on a new player account. So come and join me over there. I'm out of here. Now that here's my final pun. Here's why the song isn't about a gold find champion. Now that you've learned all of this about gold finding and Azaka farming, it's time to get cracking on earning more gold. Folks, the song we're going out on is Release the Kraken. Have a great weekend.